Hi, for Reason TV, I'm Tim Cavanaugh. I'm here with Bill Mundell, the executive producer of a new documentary called Gerrymandering. And I guess our first question should be, is it gerrymandering or is it gerrymandering, since it's named after probably the skinniest of the founding fathers, Elbridge Gerry?
Well, I think we probably ought to do him some good service and call it gerrymandering, because he's certainly really best known for that, in spite of the fact that he was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. He was vice president under Madison, so he has a long history of accomplishments, but he's known for gerrymandering or gerrymandering because in 1812, as governor, he made a point of marginalizing his opposition, to the point that the opposition looked at the districts that they were in and they said it resembled a salamander. And so they put salamander together with Governor Gerry, and they got gerrymandering.
You can talk about racial gerrymandering, where gerrymandering might favor whites. You can talk about partisan gerrymandering, where the lines are drawn to favor a particular political party, the Democrats or the Republicans. Or you can talk about incumbency gerrymandering. And in incumbency gerrymander, the lines are drawn to favor the incumbents. Sweetheart deals, as we sometimes call them.
Most people will never know whether they've been gerrymandered out of a district, but they do know that our country's infrastructure is crumbling, our economy is cratered, and government is broken. And it turns out that the arcane rules of redistricting impact all this by determining who gets elected and who gets represented. Now, I think if you ask the average person to look at a map of their district and ask them if they think it makes sense, they will surely say no.
Okay, I think what you're talking about is the redistricting and why it looks like it did. If you look at the map of the third ward, it looks like a monster is going to invite somebody. And the reason for that was the mayor had planned to eliminate 2 north side wards. And Louis Reed worked with every alderman in the city of St. Louis, all 28 of them. And instead of eliminating 2 wards in North St. Louis, what they agreed to do is allow the 28th ward, the 18th ward, the 6th ward, and the 5th ward to move further south. Some of them go almost down to Highway 44, almost, not quite down there, which allowed all of the other wards, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 27th, to be able to shift in order to be able to have the population in each one of those wards that would be allowable under this Constitution of the state of Missouri. So you have to have, as nearly as practically possible, the same number of people in each ward. Of course, it didn't happen that way. But then there's some aldermen had a mama living over here. So, oh, I don't want to lose my mama, so we're going to draw the wards around that. Some of these wards go down the alley, and that's never happened before in the history. But in order to preserve 12 wards, we had to make a lot of concessions. And if you ever look at the 3rd ward, it's the most miserable piece of topography that you ever saw. Any other questions?
Because there's no rhyme or reason. They're not compact, they're not contiguous, they don't give a sense of any kind of community, which is what representation is all about. The United States is the only advanced democracy in the world which allows politicians to actually draw their district lines. So our red line, if you will, we say there's no silver bullet in how you create the commissions to do this, but we just feel that the politicians shouldn't be directly involved in that process. It's completely self-serving, and we get the kind of districts we do because of that.
plaintiffs in this action. And what I want to first do is to really thank my legal teammates. Shop, Dorian Amon, they did an incredible job. I thank them very much. I also want to very much thank the plaintiffs in this case for the way that they stood up, the courage that they displayed, how informative they were, and how diligent they were in sticking up to us. And that is Isaiah F. and Ms. Cheryl Nelson. So I really thank them a lot.
He made a point of marginalizing his opposition to the point that the opposition looked at the districts that they were in and they said it resembled a salamander.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Putting the band back together.
Forget it. No way. We're on a mission from God.